Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton has the Bucks on the ropes, 3-1. Giannis Antetokounmpo, like he has done for the entirety of this season, specifically in this series, doing everything to keep the Bucks in it. He went for 30, but Tyrese down 2. 10 seconds to go in the fourth, ties it at 103. Very next play, baseline jumper for Giannis. No. It would have sent this thing back to Milwaukee. Instead, we go to overtime, and that is where Gary took over. Trent Jr., of course. He was 8 of 17 from three-point land. He scored Milwaukee's first 12 points in overtime. Everybody was saying this is far too much Gary, and that's something I hear often. Is it? Social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Giannis, up 4. No, make it 6. So they're pulling away, breathing new life into this series. But now, 20 seconds to go, it's Tyrese, who just 2 weeks ago was voted by his peers as the most overrated player in the league. He gets the hoop, gets the harm. Got Doc Rivers looking like that, and then ensuing Bucks inbound. Trent Jr., 12 points in overtime, but also had the 2 costly turnovers. Randy hit him in a bad spot.
Oh, yeah, the hands.
Yes, can't do that. So there they. The Bucks turn the ball over. Next sequence here, it's Tyrese Halliburton. Hallelujah. That's going to give the Pacers the come-from-behind win in overtime to close up this series, and it goes up against Giannis. 26 points for Halliburton, 9 assists, but then we also, after this game, had a dust-up. Center court with the Greek Freak and Halliburton's pops. John Halliburton got in Giannis's face, was saying all sorts of stuff. Giannis held himself back until he couldn't anymore. They would eventually be separated. Giannis would eventually find his way to the mic. Tempers would eventually settle down here. After the win, Tyrese Halliburton on the mic.
I think just the emotions of the game just got excited there. But I talked with him. I'll talk with Giannis eventually about it. Just, I don't think that my pops was in the right at all there.
I believe being humble in victory. That's how I am. Now there can be a lot of people out there that are like, no, when you win the game, it's a green light for you to be disrespectful towards somebody else. I disagree. I've won the championship. They haven't.
Unfortunately for Giannis and those Bucks, that's now 3 straight seasons with first-round playoff exits as we welcome in senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst into the program. Windy, fantastic to see you. Post-game events aside, Tyrese Halliburton, a fantastic performance. How big was this moment for him?
This is enormous. This is what he's been building towards throughout his whole career. Not even making the highlight was his dunk at the end of regulation that got them to overtime. But the statement that was really made by the Pacers coaching staff and their belief in Tyrese Halliburton, because did you see the play they called? They isolated him on Giannis. Look, Siakam sets the screen. They know Giannis is going to be the defender, and they just trusted him to make a play. They're behind. This is not like if this misses, you keep going. That's an incredible show of trust in Halliburton. He's obviously having a huge game and getting to the basket. And his iconic moment there, him standing on the scorer's table. I mean, that's a Dwayne Wade moment. They made Dwayne Wade's moment into a statue. That was Tyrese Halliburton's moment. And they go into the next round against the Cleveland Cavaliers with incredible momentum. This team went 14-4 down the stretch of the regular season. Now goes right through the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo for a big matchup with the Cavs.
Second straight season, the Pacers have dispatched the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round of the postseason. Of course, after the game, Giannis asked if he thinks he can still win an NBA championship in Milwaukee. He said he wasn't going to talk about it. That doesn't mean we can't talk about it, Windy. So what should we be watching for now that Milwaukee season has come to an end?
Yeah, this is the cloud that is looming over the Bucks franchise, and something that everybody in the NBA who wants to acquire a superstar like Giannis is now watching with a laser focus. And it's been very clear. He has not talked about this. His representation has not had any time for anybody who wants to talk about this. They have not wanted to make this an issue. But there's a devastating stat out there that is just an indictment of the Bucks and where they are, and I'm going to give it to you right now. The last 10 games that Giannis has played in the playoffs, 10 playoff games now when he's played, he has averaged 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 6 assists. And the Bucks are 1 and 9. He has an incredible game last night, 30 points, 20 rebounds, 13 assists, and they can't win. That is really what Giannis has got to square and look at and try to make a decision in the future. And a big chunk of this league is going to be waiting to see a signal from him about what direction he wants to go.
Get along here. He's playing through plenty. He would leave the game. Cunningham getting inside, knocking down a floater. You'll float too. We all float down here. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 dimes. The Pistons are up 6. Cunningham in a 4-point game. Quick pass to Asar Thompson. And watching this thing are Hart and Brunson. They can't get in the game. Despite the fact that Tom Thibodeau had a timeout, they had to watch from the scorer's table 106-103 the Pistons stay alive. The Knicks have not been able to celebrate much in front of their home fans when it comes to clinching a playoff series. 0 for their last 5 opportunities since the turn of the century now. They will not get another chance unless this thing goes 7 games. Our NBA analyst, Alan Hahn Baby Hahn, is with us this morning. Knicks coach, that's a Gone Baby Gone reference, but you go a little bit more current. But Tom Thibodeau said post-game, Alan, it was a quote-unquote coach's decision to not call a timeout late in the fourth and get Brunson back out there and get Josh Hart back out there. You were at the game. How do you explain this?
You can't explain it. It was a gamble. That's exactly what Tom Thibodeau was doing there, just hoping for a stoppage that gets his guys back in the game. 3:01 in the fourth quarter of Game 5 might be a pivotal moment in this series when you consider everything that happened from that point forward. You guys showed Karl-Anthony Towns knocking down the 3, and the score is tied. Then the injuries happen. You have Mikal Bridges, though, still on the floor. You also have Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor. Here's a good look from Bridges. No. So he's got to knock that down. Why did you trade for these guys to make those kind of shots? And by the way, the motorcade was special late in this game, too, for the Pistons. You can't ignore that. But that's how much time elapsed before the best closer in the sport came back out on the floor. That's like leaving Tretiak on the bench in 1980 if you're the Russian coach. It is really a tough decision. It's a gamble. It did not work out. And the Knicks now have to go to Detroit and win a Game 6.
That's a deep cut, but perhaps without it, we don't believe in miracles. All right, quick one-word answer, Alan Hahn. Do the Knicks close this series out in Game 6?
One word in New York, we say, you better. That's one word. It is one word. You better, because you don't want a Game 7.
He is Han Wick. We are not. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, that was the Eastern Conference round 1. What about out west? This series tied 2 games apiece. Denver trying to flip home court. It turns into a best of 3 now. With this series tied, Jamal Murray, he was on one. Gets the feed from Jokic, wide open on the wing. Got it. One of 8 triples for the Blue Arrow. The Nuggets were up double digits. It would be a comfortable lead pretty much all game. Aaron Gordon, 23 points, and that's a great sign for the Nuggets because they're 7-1 in the postseason when he goes for 20 or more. Offensive rebound, yes. Russell Westbrook, triple, got it. 20 points off the bench in a playoff game for the first time in his career. Generally a starter, Christian Brown. Everybody in on the 3 action. Nuggets go into the fourth quarter up.
Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục đi tô màu để gửi tặng đến các bạn những phút giây thư giãn. Chào mừng các bạn. Rất hân hạnh các bạn đã đến với video của mình. Và để làm được video của mình, video tô màu của mình thì mình sẽ chuẩn bị những dụng cụ như sau. Đây là bút sáp màu và đây là điện thoại để mình quay lại quá trình mình tô màu. Đây là những sản phẩm được in sẵn. Đây là những con vật này. Đây là những con vật. Đây là những đồ vật. Vân vân. Bây giờ mời các bạn cùng theo dõi quá trình mình tô màu. Các bạn xem video của mình thấy hay thì hãy ấn like, đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình nhé. Mình cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.
Làm gì vậy con? Mày